share. So yeah, so basically, as I spoke last time about LinkedIn, as we all know, the theory that LinkedIn can be used to produce leads for your business, but the question is how you actually do that. So one of the things that I found was that you can integrate effectively LinkedIn and Surveymonkey together, and you can come up with some pretty good results. So the plan is that I'm going to talk you through just something that I've actually done several times in the past, not only my own business, but stuff that I've done for my clients as well, and impact that has. So just a recap really from last week. Sorry, it's about 3 weeks ago actually. Gosh, doesn't time fly? Just spoke about your LinkedIn profile before. Just the recap effectively was that your LinkedIn profile is your shop window. It's what people see of you. So it's very important to make sure that your LinkedIn profile paints you in a very good light. So obviously things like making sure you've got a photo, making sure that you've got the right details on there about you, making sure that you've got a headline that effectively fits what you can do to help a person. So I think, as I showed previously, mine isn't, but it's worth looking at because hopefully you'll come up with some ideas. I know that also it's good to look at your LinkedIn profile and view it more like sales copy than your CV or your resume. See it more as your sales letter to your customers rather than anything else. So I've just put mine title, for instance, B2B Internet Marketing Consultant, specializing in LinkedIn, connecting buyers with sellers. Really, the whole point is, what's my job? It's actually to connect buyers with sellers. I can come up with all kinds of flash titles and other things, but ultimately that's the aim. And then obviously going further down, just a summary, some background there. I've tried to focus on what kind of benefits I offer rather than just putting down on this date I work for this company, on this date I moved to do something different, because obviously most people's profiles that you view on LinkedIn will show just that, and if yours can stand out somehow, then obviously that's a much better thing. So I've got some details there, got my work history, so you can see what I've been doing for the last few years or so. Something very crucial is people who have actually recommended you. So if you've got people that have actually speaking well of you, that's very powerful in terms of social proof. And obviously connections further down and groups you're in. So that's a quick summary of your LinkedIn profile. And as I said last time, the homepage gives you some very good pointers in terms of who's actually viewing you, what kind of, if you like, traffic you've got. Sorry about this, I seem to be having a few issues with LinkedIn tonight. So for instance, going further down, it tells me how many people have viewed my profile today, which is very helpful. These key figures here as well. I've got 8,064 people that I'm connected to on LinkedIn currently, and the overall reach is just over 25 million. This is important. This is the number of LinkedIn users who can see me and I can see. So the reason for having as many connections as possible, quality and quantity connections, is that it actually boosts this figure here. So obviously if you think of a LinkedIn population of, let's say, 250 million, only 10% of the LinkedIn population can ever see me, and I can only ever see 10% of the LinkedIn population. So obviously it's crucial to get as many connections as you can. Obviously you want quality connections, but you also want quantity connections, because then you have access to their group of connections and then to theirs as well. So okay, that's just a quick summary of what I spoke about last time. Now we're going to dive right into groups now, because groups is a very important aspect of LinkedIn, and it's an absolute winner when it comes to making contact with people. As you probably all know, you can be a part of up to 50 groups on LinkedIn, and here's my list of groups. You can actually create your own group if you want to, and you can be part of different groups. So there's some groups that I've actually created, and there's some that I'm a part of. Now let's just pick one group, Crawley and Gatwick Chamber of Commerce. I live fairly close to Crawley, so it's a group that's local to my area. So if you go into a group on LinkedIn, most of us would just post something on the discussions, or we look at discussions. But actually, if you go into the members section, it actually tells you everybody who's in this group. This group's got 404 members, and LinkedIn will let you see the first 500 people that come up, and they're kind of ranked or shown up in how close they are to you in terms of LinkedIn terms. So the first few people are going to be people that I'm connected to, and as I move down the list, you're going to end up with people that you're probably not connected to. Now, the crucial thing here is this group has 404 people, and it's possible to contact any and all of these people. So let's say that we want to contact this guy here, Mark B. All we do is we just simply click on send message, subject, message, send. So I'm hoping that you're seeing that this is quite powerful. If I wanted to contact business people in the Crawley area, I can straight away access 403 people because I'm on the list. So let's say 403 other people straight away. So that's great, but obviously the key question is, what do you actually say to these people? So as I said last time, it's crucial on LinkedIn and for your business generally to look at what your target audience looks like. So what kind of people you're wanting to make contact with, where to actually find these people, where will they be hanging about on LinkedIn, and what do you actually say to these people once you've made contact with them. Now, if I'm looking purely for business people within the Crawley area, great, I found people here. So the crucial thing that I'm going to talk about in this session is really, okay, how do you break the ice? How do you actually make contact with these people? What do you actually say to these people? Now, I found something very, very helpful is that if you ask someone to help you, that's normally a very good way to break the ice. In fact, people are more willing to help you than if you offer to help them, because they're kind of wary about what your motives might be. Second thing is as well, people are very, very, very willing to give their opinions. Some people, more than other people, are very, very keen to tell you what they think on a given subject. So if you have a situation where you can actually ask for someone's help and ask for their opinion at the same time, you have a very good chance of actually getting hold of them. Now, this is something that I've done several times, and I'm just going to focus on a fairly recent campaign that I did. And the essence of it is that I chose a group on LinkedIn. For these purposes, I chose a group within my area. So I chose one of the Brighton groups. Incidentally, if you haven't joined up with many groups and you're not quite sure how to find the right kind of groups, if you go to the top search bar, click on groups here, just type in a search word, say for instance accountant. If I can spell, which I can't, try again, accountant, just hit enter. It will then show you all the groups that relate to that. So just wait for that to come up. And here we go. Should hopefully be having some groups. Yeah, okay. So we have groups with the word accountant in it. So if I want to narrow it down a bit and just have English groups, or English speaking groups, shall I say, you can just click on English there. If I want open groups are where you don't have to ask to join. You can pretty much join without having to go through some kind of pre-approval process. So if we just say an open group, and let's say there's groups of my first level connections, so people that I'm directly connected to, that will obviously bring the group of people further down. And sure enough, you can have a search around these groups, and you can see some of these groups are very big, 46,000 people, 43,000 people, 85,000 people. And you can basically join up with groups. Now, most people tend to join up with groups of people that do the same kind of thing they do. So mortgage brokers join up with groups of mortgage brokers and talk about mortgages. Accountants join up with groups of accountants, talk about accounting. Engineers talk about engineering, etc., etc. Now, something that's much more valuable is to actually join up with groups of your target audience, of your customers. So if your customer is engineering group, for instance, it would make sense to join up with those groups, even though your job wouldn't necessarily be that. If your job is an accountant, you would probably want to join up with groups of local businesses, for instance, because there's potentially a big fishing pool of customers there. So in this scenario, I simply started off, I picked a group and I said, okay, well, I'm going to target a group of business people within the Brighton area, again, which is fairly close to where I live. So I clicked on a group, and let me go. There we go. Perfect. Brighton and Hove Business Group. So as I said before, if you are part of a group, or if you join a group, straight away, once you're in that group, you have access to at least 500 people in that group. So sure enough, we go in here. We see this group has got 402 members. Click on members here, and then that will bring down the list of people. So I started to see the value of this. I saw that actually this is a very, very useful thing. I've got access to 400 people here, and I can join other groups in the Brighton area, and I can move across to London, and I can move across to other places, and I can come out of groups and join other groups, and effectively I could work myself across the UK looking for potential customers just by joining groups and then by joining the group later on. So it's very, very powerful. So let's stay with this group. Okay, I've got 400 potential customers here. What do I say to these people? How do I connect with these people? Now, in this scenario, I decided I was going to run a LinkedIn workshop, so an actual half-day course where people turn up and people sit down and I talk about LinkedIn, and hopefully they ask questions and hopefully they make some changes to their LinkedIn profile, and they leave hopefully with some kind of game plan moving forward. So okay, so how do you start off doing that? What do you do? Now often what businesses tend to do is they assume what their clients will think, what their potential customers will think. They will assume what the customers will want to see in the course in terms of content. They assume what price people will pay. They assume what kind of times of day people will go to the course. I just thought it would be very, very handy to effectively ask these people what they think I should do. So effectively the principle was ask the people you aim to market to how they think you should market to people like them. Okay, so let's say that again. Ask the people you want to market to how they think you should market to people like them. And what you'll find is you'll get some very, very good answers. So I thought, okay, right, I know, for instance, I can send a message to each person here. What do? So I created a very, very simple message, and I think I said something like 2 minutes of your time. I won't dig out the actual message for you because it could take quite a while, because I've probably got several thousand messages in my box, but this was the basis of it, and it would be something like, for instance, with this guy, hi Chris, and as I said last time, it's very important if you're in a group to affiliate yourself with the person you're making contact with. If I say to this guy, Chris, hi, I'm also part of the Brighton and Hove Business Group, or as a fellow member of the Brighton and Hove Business Group. Now, straight away, it's the same principle. If you're out somewhere and you meet someone who supports the same football team as you, you suddenly feel this kind of loyalty to this person, even though they could be a complete stranger, because you've got this common interest, you've got a common bond. Sometimes local papers do it, where somebody from a certain town where they're in prison, or they're going to go to prison for something, and often the papers can be very, very defensive, effectively like our local person from this area, and it's almost like that person has to be innocent because they come from this particular town. And it's one of these sort of things where we have this sense of loyalty and a sense of affiliation to other people that have something in common with us. So even though I've never met this guy Chris before, and even though we haven't spoken, we are part of the same group on LinkedIn. So we do have something in common, and there's a pretty good chance that he's going to feel that same link as well if I bring it to light. So if I say something like, as a fellow member of the Brighton and Hove Business Group, something you could also do, for instance, I can say, I am an internet marketing consultant. So if you tell people what you do, they'll think, oh, that's interesting. I've always wanted to speak to someone about my internet marketing. And then again, that prompts something. So if I say I'm an internet marketing consultant and a fellow member of the group, so effectively then I'm making it clear what I do and how I could possibly help him, and I'm also drawing that link to the fact that we're part of the same group. So that's the first stage of it. Okay, so let's just stick with the first bit. As a fellow member of the Brighton and Hove Business Group, I wonder if you could do me a favour. Now, if you're out somewhere and someone says to you, excuse me, could you help me? What's your response? I know sometimes if you've had a really bad day, or it's pouring with rain, or you've just got soaked, or something like that, maybe not quite so favourable. But generally speaking, we're usually quite pleased to help out, aren't we? If it's a case of opening a door for somebody or picking up somebody's wallet, we really like the idea of actually being able to help. And it's the same thing on LinkedIn. If I say to this guy or to anybody else on LinkedIn, I'm a fellow member of so-and-so group on LinkedIn, I wonder if you could do me a favour. Now, there's a higher chance than just sending an email, sort of spam email or email marketing email. There's suddenly a much higher chance that the person that you're contacting will be open to actually talking to you. Okay, so that's the next stage. Then you just say something like, so in my case, I am creating a LinkedIn, oops, my spelling tonight, course, and wonder if I could have your opinion on how to do it. So, you know, obviously you would look at changing this around. This is only a very, very basic message, but the key point is you ask them for their help. You think of what you want to look for, and if you think of the kind of people that you're looking to market to, your problem is, or your challenge is, you need to know exactly how they think, and you need to know what their needs are, and really you want to come up with something that's tapered perfectly to their needs, rather than doing what you think they want, because that's the problem with many businesses. They spend loads of money and they come up with something that they think their customer wants, but their customer doesn't want. So obviously this effectively gives you the opportunity to use LinkedIn to do some market research, but also, as I'm going to show you as well, it also gives you opportunity to generate some leads for your business as well. Right, I'm creating a LinkedIn course. I wonder if I could have your opinion on how to do it. So far I have created a 2-minute survey, and would value your opinion. Right, so again, we just do that, and then we're going to have a survey link. I use Surveymonkey just because I find it easy to use. There's no other reason other than that. You can use something else if you want to, but that's what I use personally. So you know, the principle's the same with all of them. So you put your survey link. Thanks. Okay, so bang. So off this message goes. So you would send that to the first person, then you'd copy it. Okay, I'm not going to send this one. Then you click on send to the next person, title again. So if you make it a nice easy title, so you don't have to write too much, paste it in, change the first name, bang, job done. So it's something that you could do yourself. I often do batches of 500 messages. I've got someone else who does that work for me usually, but it's also the kind of thing that you can do in the evening when you're watching TV. You could maybe knock out 50 or 100 of them. You could get up every morning and spend the first half hour of your day sending out messages. So obviously what you're probably wondering is, okay, well, how effective is this, and just what kind of questions do we ask? So what I'm going to show you is, I'm going to go to my Surveymonkey account here, and here it is, and I'm just going to go into, this is the actual survey that I created. So this is an actual scenario. Went into the Brighton group, sent a message to all 400 plus members of the group, and so far you can see I've had 40 survey responses, so bang on 10%. So 10% of the people that received this message bothered to answer the questions. Now that's quite high. If you think about most marketing type things, I do email marketing from time to time, and the open rates and the conversion rates are very, very low. If you look at this, you've sent a message to 400 people and got 40 responses. Now, obviously, this is the case in certain scenarios. This is quite common, although sometimes there are campaigns that I do that are absolute turkey, and we get very, very little feedback on it. It's usually because if you don't target properly, if you don't target the people correctly, if you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right level of engagement on it. But obviously, if you spend some time on it properly, come up with the right questions, you'll get the right answers. So just quickly, you can see that this survey's had 40 responses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into analyze results. Now the key point of the survey is twofold. The primary reason of it is to generate leads for your business, although that isn't the way that you go into it. You go into it on the basis that you're finding out information from people. Okay, you're asking people's opinions, which, as you'll hopefully see here, is also very, very valuable. It's a very nice byproduct because it helps you to measure your actual marketing. So you can look at it and say, well, actually, I didn't realize that. I assumed people wanted X, Y, Z, but they really want A, B, C. Okay, so I decided that I usually ask about 6 or 8 questions, no more than 8 questions. But the first couple of questions are just warm-up questions, just really somebody's just messaged you cold. They've come in and they've given you this message and they've connected, so you kind of feel that there's some kind of affiliation with them, and they just say, could I have your opinion? So you think, well, okay, yeah, I can help out. And then you start asking them some questions. So obviously you want to ask them some fairly gentle questions to get them into it, so that they don't feel threatened by it. So I just thought it would be quite helpful to ask a question like, out of 10, how beneficial would you say LinkedIn has been for your business? So really just to get some kind of idea of how useful people think LinkedIn is. If I'm doing a course on LinkedIn, it's very helpful for me to know whether the people that I'm going to be talking to actually get benefit from LinkedIn or they don't get benefit from LinkedIn. Well, this is fairly mixed, but you could probably say most people are around about the 5 mark. The most common figure is 5. So out of 10, most people find LinkedIn has some value, but they're not getting massive value out of it. There's only 3 out of 40 people getting massive value. Okay, so that's useful for me to know that. So next question, how important is it for you to generate new business at the moment? If I'm doing a course about generating leads with LinkedIn, it's very important for me to know whether there's a demand for new business. If everybody's happy and they've got loads of business and they're not really interested, then why would they want to know about LinkedIn? Because they can't cope with it anyway. So I decided to ask this question. So you can see, got 3 responses, not very important, or sorry, not important. I have more than enough business coming in. 15% of the recipients have said that. 37.5% have said would be helpful, I could do with a bit more business coming in. Very important, 47.5%. So nearly half of people are saying, yep, I'm almost desperate for this business to come in. And effectively 85% are interested in generating more business. So straight away, I know that there's people that are finding LinkedIn not that helpful, but 85% of them are more than interested in the possibility of getting more business in at the moment. Okay. Next question that I asked was, how much do you currently spend on generating new business each month? So again, we've got a fairly mixed bag. Probably the most common one was less than £250 per month. That appears to be in this area, probably given that lots of the people that I contacted would have been sole traders or fairly small businesses. The amount being spent is less than £250. Some people, there's 18% are spending more than £1,000. The point is this: if people are spending hundreds or even thousands of pounds on marketing for their business, they will be interested in actually finding out or maybe looking at how effective it is. And if I'm running a course that can actually help them with their marketing, they shouldn't have issues paying for that course because they're already spending money so far. So effectively 80% of the people that answer the question are spending some amount of money every month on marketing their business. Okay, what marketing activities do you engage in? Now this was a fairly mixed bag. As you can see, streets ahead is social media. Now this question gave them the option to choose more than one answer, which is why we've got a total of more than 100%. So you can see the top one is 79.49% social media. So okay, straight away, social media is very popular with most businesses in this area. They're very, very keen to look at the possibility of LinkedIn, Google+, Facebook, Twitter. How can these be used? And they're actually using them to some level to actually get more business in. Email marketing is very, very popular, 66%. Okay, and obviously next one is SEO. Again, that was almost half the businesses are doing this, either paid or unpaid. And then obviously we've got direct marketing, we've got local newspapers, billboards, radio advertising, and in other, we had some other responses. So we would have had people doing different things: word of mouth, traditional marketing, telemarketing, exhibitions, etc., etc. So different methods there. Now, this obviously is useful for me to know because obviously different people are using different ways. Okay, so now next point is straight to the point, how they can help me. I'm looking to run a practical, hands-on, half-day course on how to grow your business using LinkedIn. What format do you think would work best? Okay, it's totally pointless me booking a course to start at 8:30 in the centre of London if nobody's going to show up. So this question was really, what time of day would suit you best? So effectively, morning only in an off-site venue, afternoon only off-site venue, morning only at client's office, afternoon only client's office, webinar format, or others. So most people were quite happy with the idea of a course off-site. So that's great, because I was thinking of actually running a course in a hotel or a room like that. So wonderful, sounds good. Some people are interested in somebody going to their office to teach them. Webinar format is very, very important. So again, that's useful to know that people quite often are keen to learn via webinar because they can do it when they want to do it. And there's some other answers here. So what other answers did we get? So yeah, so different answers here as well. Okay, which of the following sums up your attitude towards this kind of course? Okay, so for half people, price was a very big factor. For 5%, venue was a big factor. So basically, this says to me straight away, okay, if the course is overpriced, people won't show up. Venue doesn't matter too much. if I had some proof that the methods work, I would attend. Okay, very important. So obviously, if I want to get people onto my course, I've got to demonstrate that what I'm going to teach actually works. Hence, having webinars like this. Only one person was interested in a bulk discount. 6 people were very honest, they just wouldn't attend, which is fair enough. 5 said they would rather spend their money on other methods to grow their business. Again, that's fine. Just wouldn't follow through on the action plan. So this is all brilliant feedback. This is all very, very helpful feedback. It's telling me that there's a proportion of people that would be interested, but price is a factor, and social proof, if you like, or proof that the methods work is also a factor. So if I'm going to market to these people in terms of a course, I've got to cover those bases. I've got to make sure the price is right, and I've got to make sure that they are sufficiently convinced that what they will be learning will be helpful. Okay, crucial question here. How much do you think we should charge for a half-day course? Right, so we can see overwhelmingly £50 to £75 a head, £75 to £100 a head. So, okay, so no one thinks it's worth more than £100 a head. Great. So this says to me, this is my price. If I start charging £150 a head for this course, I'm probably not going to get anybody on it. If I charge between £50 to £75 a head on this course, I'm probably going to get some takers, which is fine. And obviously some extra comments here in terms of what people have thought. One person says £30. It depends on your market. Yep, so I mean about varying the price for different types of business, which is fine. Okay, so the crucial question now, this is effectively this final question. Are you interested in finding out more about this kind of LinkedIn course? This is effectively where the leads get generated. I've asked people to provide me with their feedback. I've asked them to provide me with their thoughts and their opinions, which is very, very valuable for my business. But now I'm saying to them, look, if I ran one of these workshops, would you show up? So here's the responses. Of the 40 people, 60% have said, yes, please, I'm interested. Now, just to warn you, not all of these are actually proper leads, okay? I've asked for name, phone number, and email address, because I found if it's only email address, people just don't respond. If somebody's serious about finding out more, they will commit to put their telephone number in as well. So you can see some of these leads here. There's different leads here. There's a phone number here, which is very helpful. Email address, phone number, again, which is very, very helpful. So we have a series of leads. So for instance, if we look at all these people here, most of them have put in email only, but you know, some of them have put in telephone number as well. And obviously then, using Surveymonkey, for instance, with this guy Nigel, I can find out exactly what he said. So when I make contact with him, when I send him an email, or if I phone him, I know exactly what he thinks, because he said, okay, I'm interested in finding out more. Now he's finding at the moment that LinkedIn is about 5 out of 10 for him. More business would be helpful. He's currently spending less than £250 a month on marketing. He uses social media a lot. He's interested in a hotel afternoon only type course. If the price was right, he'd attend, and he thinks £50 to £75 per head's reasonable. So straight away I can phone this guy and I can pitch what I'm wanting to pitch to him based upon what he said to me. I can decide that my price is going to be £65. I can decide that it's going to be an afternoon only thing. So this is very, very powerful. So actually 400 messages had gone out. 40 survey responses have come through. So obviously we've got that number again. Yeah, where is it? 40. And obviously there have been some leads generated. I mean, I could say to you there were 24 leads generated, because that's what the number shows, but the reality is the number of leads would be a bit less than that. It's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so we got 21. So let's say around 20 leads. So this exercise of contacting 400 people in a group has produced 40 responses, which is very, very valuable for the business. And it's also given me 20 people that are interested in finding out more. The 20 people I can add to an email marketing list, 20 people I can contact directly via email, I can phone them, I can even cross-reference their details to find their telephone number if I want to. But the crucial thing is they have given me their consent effectively to contact them. They said, yes, please contact me. So obviously with LinkedIn, as we all know, it's a door opener. It opens a door to a potential relationship. It opens up a door so that you can then talk to people, and you can then take it, if you like, offline rather than online. If your business is global, then obviously that isn't quite so easy. But if your business is local, it is. You can then meet up, or you can organise something. And obviously, once you then speak to people face to face, you can talk through your proposition. You've got a much better chance of actually getting some kind of working relationship with that person. So, in effect, that is pretty much it. Now, the crucial thing is, though, obviously, with this, is making sure that you find the right kind of group. So you, first of all, you've got to make sure that you have connected yourself to the right kind of groups. And the groups you want to connect to are not going to be groups of people that do the same kind of thing you do. They will be groups of your potential customers. So if you're connected up with groups of your potential customers, then obviously you can then make contact with people that could be customers. Now, if you want to take it to a different level, now this is obviously making it much more focused. I'll just show you quickly. I'll go into a different group. Similar thing, members. Okay, so I can either say, right, well, I'm going to contact the first 500 people on this list, and I'm going to message them, and I'm going to hope that they will be the kind of people I'm after. Or, I'm so sorry about this, this has crashed out on me. Let's try again. So let's try and go back in again to LinkedIn. There we go. This should come back up in a sec, hopefully. Oops. Right. Okay. Back in LinkedIn, back to groups. Maybe LinkedIn didn't like that particular group for now, so let's try again. See what we can come up with. So let's just go into a different group, hopefully. At least you know this is live. We're having difficulties getting into groups, so at least you know I haven't got some screenshots. I'm actually showing you this live, which I think is a much better way of dealing with it. So let's just try and get into the group again, or a group again. Okay. So, okay, let's go into, I'm going to go into this group. It was a group that I created, long story. I'll talk to you some other point about how to actually create your own group, and then you've got your potential target audience that you can contact. But this is a group that I created quite some while ago, so let's go into this group for now. I can get in, of course. It's been a bit awkward about. Okay, hopefully we're in here. So if I click on members, it doesn't always do this, but right, members again, we said. doesn't look like it likes that group, is it? Anyway, the point I was trying to make was, and I'll see if I can get into a group while this is happening. The point I was trying to make was that you can actually use keywords to filter out certain people to make contact with. So, for instance, if you wanted to have a situation where you just wanted to contact CEOs or MDs or business owners, you could actually filter those people out from a group, and then you could make contact with those people directly. So rather than making contact with everybody in the group, you would just pick out certain people, and I'll show you how to do that now. So let's try again. I think we're okay. We're okay in Brighton Hove Business last time we looked in there, so let's try again. See if it lets us back in again.